to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds of sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here. Indeed, it is Monday, April 17th, 2023, and this is Livestream number 114. We've been doing this for 114 Mondays now, give or take. Well, certainly not more than 114, but can you believe it? We're back here again, Monday night, and you're here, and I'm here, and I just really appreciate it. So, welcome. If you're new to the live stream, I'll tell you about tonight's show. Well, tonight's just going to be reviewing the comments, and we're going to be chatting and just here to kind of foster the group, which is always fun because you never know what conversation will come about. So I'm counting on you in the live chat. And generally, we're talking about tractors and gardening and DIY projects and generally life in the country. So that is what we talk about. If that's what you're here for tonight, then I welcome you for that. If you are here for the first time, please say hi in the live chat so that we can properly welcome you because we have a nice growing family of Monday nighters here who come back week after week. And it's just good. It's just good. Also in the live chat, if you're new here, let us know how you found the channel. Was it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? Let us know where you found us. Appreciate that. And of course, I do ask you to hit that thumbs up and of course subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. There's a lot of other content that comes out in produced video format, not just live streams. So be sure to do that. And then later on, we'll be giving away some of these here stickers like we do every week. Somebody from somewhere around the world will win those stickers. And of course, during the live chat, the live stream and the live chat, if you have a question, pose your question like this, and I will try and answer your question if I can. So let's go to the comment section now and see who's with us because, my gosh, there are way more comments than people here. You guys have been chatting up a storm, and gosh, good to see you. Kent Construction was the first one here. So Hope Construction, good to see you tonight. And of course, our friend Ross looks like second in line on the comments. So, and then a discussion ensued between those two and many others. There's Mikey0011. And I saw our friend David from RCAF Polar Express and John and Woodster 300 and when work is play. Good evening to you. Right, Mark? Look at the live chat and you think the show's been going on forever, and here it is just starting. Let's move that mic up a little bit. There, that's better. So, hello to you all for sure. And there's Chris from the Watershed Outlook. Curious about the thumbnail? Yeah, I was going to talk about that thumbnail, Chris. You're so intuitive. You're always looking for things. How's the bird doing back there? He's going, right? Because I know if he's not, Chris will point it out and say, the bird's not going, or he changed directions. He's very keen, that Chris. He notices a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, so the thumbnail, yeah. That was a picture I took while I was driving the other day. Not that I was using the camera while I was driving, but anyway, picture I got the other day. Here it is behind this manure spreader on a farm there, obviously on a farm there. So I just took a picture of that because it made me think about something. And I was thinking, as I'm sitting here trying to look cool and move that picture around. I was looking for it on the screen. So I was driving home from work. I had gotten off the turnpike, which is probably 20 miles away from that point. And, you know, on the turnpike, you're driving the speed limit or more. You kind of go with the flow. That turnpike, this is the New Jersey Turnpike, probably all turnpikes, though, you can find yourself going, if you go with the flow, you could find yourself going 85 miles an hour. So I've heard. So I've heard. Wow, I just kicked my light. Did you see that? Okay. Now it got dark. Now it's getting lighter. So anyway, on the turnpike, I mean, the traffic, I don't mind driving the turnpike. I drive it for several hours at a time. I don't mind driving anywhere as long as traffic is moving. I don't like getting stuck in traffic. I'd rather drive longer and further as long as I'm moving. It doesn't make sense, I know, but that's just how I am. And I think a lot of people are like that. So I don't like getting stuck in traffic. I get off the turnpike, and here I am not far from home, and I'm behind this tractor who's going probably 20, 25 miles per hour. And of course, he's pulling that manure tank. And so behind the manure tank, going 20, 25. My first thought was, I just want to get home. But then I paused for a moment, and I really just appreciated the beauty of everything around me at that moment, which was the farm fields, the open spaces, the fact that there weren't a line of cars behind that tractor. It was just me. And I really love where I live, which is rural. And I know a lot of you live in rural areas too. I often say that you're watching this because you either live in a rural area, or perhaps you used to live in a rural area, or maybe you want to live in the country. But we all have that same common appreciation. You know, there are people who are very urban and they like to be in that urban environment, and that's perfectly fine. I enjoy that too, to visit, but I love to live in the country where it's quiet and open spaces. So I really took a moment while I was driving slowly to just appreciate everything around me, and remind myself how fortunate we are to live in this area. And that goes for anybody who lives in a rural area. You know how special it is. So that's what made me think about that moment. And I want to share something else with you as soon as I read this message. Thank you. I want to share something else with you because it brought back a memory from several years ago. And this is kind of the coolest thing, because you don't appreciate, that's such a cliche. You don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. But it's so true. Where I live, about 2 miles down the road or up the road, whichever way it is, there's a dairy farm, a used to be dairy farm. Dairy farms are so rare now in this area. There used to be dairy farms everywhere. And then in the 1980s, from what I understand, as I recall, in the 1980s, there was, I believe, a government buyout. A lot of the farmers sold their dairy, stopped producing dairy, and went to either crop farming or retired from dairy farming. And slowly but surely, dairy farms just shut down. There were a lot of small independent dairy farms. There was a local guy here who drove a milk truck. That was his business. Is he owned a tanker truck, and he would hit all the farms and collect their milk, and that was his business. And now I think in our entire county, there is probably, I'm going to say, less than 5 dairy farms left in the entire county. And that may be generous to even say that. I can think of I can think of two off the top of my head that I've seen driving around. So I think 5 may even be generous. So there's a dairy farm, former dairy farm, a couple miles away, and they have a pasture. It's at an intersection. They have a couple pastures where they would keep the cows, and then the milk house was, several hundred feet away from the path. So each day they would put chains across the road. This is a county road. They would put chains across the road, um, and they would walk the cows from the fence from the gate of the one pasture up the road into the milk house, and you would often get stuck waiting at the intersection for, you know 50, 60 cows to mosey their way down the street and into the milk house, and they just leisurely walked their way down there. The farmer was there with their walking stick, and they would just kind of guide the cows, or maybe they're on the four-wheeler. And um, there were times that I would get stuck there. And when you're in a hurry or you're going somewhere, you don't have 10 minutes to wait for these cows to walk down the road. But again, and let me show you this picture, because this is the last picture I got of the cows before they stopped milking the cows. Now these were there up until probably 15 years ago. Um, so they hung in there for quite a while, and you could see I was right there. And just as they released the cows, and the cows would walk past the car and just walk up to the barn, and such a piece of nostalgia now that it's gone. Um, really was a neat thing once you got past the frustration. I'm sure there were a lot of people who got frustrated, and I'm sure that those farmers had to deal with some pretty ignorant remarks. But if you took the time and you really appreciated the moment, you'd realize how special that was, especially knowing that it wasn't going to last. And there have not been cows in that barn now for at least a decade, I would say. Now, it wasn't like amazing every time, because if you happen to go through the intersection just after the cows had passed, and let's say you had just cleaned your car or your truck, well, there was cow manure all down the road, and it was fresh, and you would drive through it and it would splash up on your car. You know, I mean, if you have a nice clean car, that's a little that's a little frustrating. Um, so bygone eras. But I wonder, do you have anything like that where you live, or have you been around anything like that? Because it really was a special thing. So, oh, and there's Margaret, who loved getting stopped by the cows. Margaret, I didn't even think you'd be here tonight. You are a trooper, let me tell you. So there's a person who appreciated the moment. There are probably other people not on this live stream, that would say that they didn't like it, but it was fun. And Lori appreciated that too. And it is sad that they're not there anymore. Um, can't blame them. It's hard work. People get older and they retire, and that's what it should be. But it was a neat thing. I'm going to take a moment and look at these comments. Gary, is this true, Gary? You have a tunnel under the road for the cows? Now that is neat. Pretty high tech. Gary, I know that you have maybe several hundred acres out there. Are you a dairy farmer? I know you drive I think a grain truck or something, but um, I imagine out in the Midwest area, there are a lot of dairy farms, a lot of commercial farms now. Um, even with everything's commercial with beef, with poultry, um, commercial farmers. And there's arguments about that, whether they are uh, real farmers or not. These commercial farms, kind of put a lot of the small farmers out of business, the same way that big box stores put small mom and pop shops out of business. It just kind of happens. But so yeah, I'm looking at comments. Okay. See, there's Gary, was a dairy farmer, retired now. What a difficult job. My sister married a dairy farmer, and that's every day of the year. They had a small operation, and we couldn't start Christmas until the cows were milked, and we all got together waiting for him to get back from dairy farming. Of course, I was too young at the time to go help. Thank goodness. But not only is it 7 days a week, it's early in the morning. Uh, it's dirty. It's a lot of work. So, Kent Hope Construction, you raise hogs, okay? But I bet you don't walk them down the road, do you? Like that? And Bob Purrs has 45 head. Are they milking cows, Bob? Uh, Definitely, it's a dying trade, I think, for sure. Because again, corporations have kind of refined it into a different experience. Maybe better for some, maybe not better for some as well. I saw a question here, not related, I think. Yeah, Bill, that's happening all around. New generation, they're inheriting the farms. They have no interest in farming. They're selling it off to housing developers. Uh, it's sad to see that, and we see that not far from where we live. We're kind of in a very interesting area here because we're far enough away from any kind of highways or interstates. We don't have public utilities like city water, city sewer. Um, so I feel like this part of the state, and this is New Jersey, the most densely populated state in the country. Um, but this part of New Jersey is pretty well protected thanks to some forward thinking from 20, 30 years ago. Um, and I've talked about this before, but what we have in New Jersey is a farmland preservation program, and it's really a great program in many ways. But I think the first farm was preserved in this county in like 1990, 1992. And what that is, it's using your tax dollars, but it's really using them wisely. The state collects tax dollars, they put it into a fund, and landowners and farmers have the option of selling off their development rights to the farm. So, for instance, now that there's a 40-acre farm right next to me, and that was preserved, about 6, 8 years ago. And the state paid them, I think, about $5,000 per acre for the development rights. And what that means for them is essentially, well, they can't sell it to a developer is what it means. But otherwise, they still own the farm. They still own all the rights to farming. They just can't build housing on it or subdivide it and sell off any lots. It is permanently deed restricted for agriculture. So they are also required to farm it. You can't just take the money and then walk away and let the farm just grow up and not be productive. The idea is for it to be productive agriculture. So one, it protects the area from housing developments, and it also supports agriculture. So it keeps agriculture in the area. With that, it's certainly, well, it's just a plus all around. I don't know what's going to happen in 50 years, 100 years. You're going to have these preserved farms. Again, there may be people who are not interested in farming at that time. Hopefully, there always will be, and hopefully, it will be financially economical to continue to farm. Now, farming can be just raising cattle. I think it can be having horses on the property. So it doesn't mean it has to be like a productive vegetable farm or crop farm, but it has to be producing something. A lot of people, they bale hay, whatnot. But at any rate, it's a good program because it protects the area around you. It is permanently deed restricted. So when I say 50, 100 years from now, it should stay deed restricted unless somehow the state reverses that. In which case, we bought some time. We can't control all that. So that's what we have here in New Jersey, and I don't know how many other states have programs like that. Let me know if you've heard of something like that in your state or other states, but it's the Farmland Preservation Program. So you still own the farm. You can still live on the farm just as you do, and you can sell the farm. So a lot of times people will sell the development rights to the farm. In a few years, the value goes up again. They can still sell the farm and get what they need for that. You just don't get, obviously, development prices for it. But again, what's great about that is that even though you're using tax dollars to pay for it, and I'm so in favor of this program, because housing developments, there's a myth out there, until you start to do a little bit of research. Housing developments don't pay for themselves. They cost a municipality, a county, more than they bring in. There are people who think, oh, if you build houses, they're going to pay taxes. It's going to help everybody. It's not the case. People cost money. If you go out to really rural areas, really rural states, taxes are low because they don't have to build schools, which are taxpayer funded. They don't have to maintain as many roads. They don't have to have municipal services. They don't have to have police departments. So all these things cost money. So it's beneficial, and it's probably the best use of your tax dollars that there is going into preserving farmland, preserving open space, because that is going to save us money in the long run. That's not a political statement. That is just how it is. So I'm going to read some more comments here. I see your comment, Lori, but I think as long as a farm can grow hay, it can be preserved. I know there are rules about horses. Lori's saying that horse farms can't be preserved. I know that there are certain farming operations where horses don't count. I think one thing is, the other thing you have here, and probably around the country, is a farmland assessment. So, there's a tax rate for your property, but farmland is taxed at a much lower rate, and that's to keep farming competitive. So, but I think I've heard that you can't use horse boarding as a form of income for farming to qualify for farmland assessment. But as far as preservation, Lori, I think any farm can be preserved. The rule here is, and I don't want to get too deep into this because you're not all from New Jersey, but the rule here is that you have to have at least 50% of the farm tillable, meaning open space that you could grow things in it. So you have to have 50% tillable. You could have a wooded area, pasture, whatnot, but you have to have 50% that is open space, and then it will qualify for that. So anyway, yes, ag land is at a much lower rate. You'd never be able to afford farmland if you paid at the same rate as residential land. In fact, I love looking at tax maps. You can find them online. And I love looking at maps. I go on Google Maps, and it's like having your own airplane. I just go all over, especially around me. And then there are tax maps where you can see property border lines. You can see, a lot of times you can see who owns the property, but some information is not on there. So I was going to say, I was looking at a property a few miles from here, and it's like 70 acres. Maybe it's even more than that. The 70 is what I'm getting at. Anyway, it's just land. It was used as a clay mine years ago. They bought the farm and they mined clay from it. So it's got I think it has a big water, a pond or whatever on it, lake on it now. But their taxes for that property are like $70,000 a year because it's not farmland assessed. I don't know how they pay it. I don't know who's paying it, but that's what I saw on the tax map, that the rate for that property is $70,000 a year. Now, if it was farm assessed, it would probably be $8,000 or $10,000 a year. So it's very very interesting. So again, it just shows the importance of the farm tax rate, because nobody could afford to earn enough money and pay taxes on that. So now this conversation took a whole turn I didn't even expect. All from that picture following the manure tank. So, but interesting. I love talking about this stuff. I was on the local planning board for a while, so I saw a lot of applications come through and learned so much. It's really, if you have an opportunity to serve in your local government or anything like that, you'll learn so much from it. Quick diversion question from David White: how's the camper lock holding up? I'm on the fence for a touchpad replacement. David, it has held up pretty well. I think it's not the RV lock; it's some other brand that I bought that was cheaper than that. It's well made. Right now, I think the batteries are dead. I went out there recently and it wasn't working, but I think it's just dead batteries. I'm going to have to go out and check. I've been happy with it so far. There's a video on my channel for anybody who's wondering what we're talking about. I installed a keypad lock on my RV so I don't have to use a key to get in. That came from an event where we were camping and it started to downpour and I wasn't near the campsite, and Ann didn't have the key to get in the camper. So it's kind of handy to have a keypad lock on your camper. So, right, that's what that was about. Anyway, there's a video on the channel. You can search for that. So, yeah, here's a comment from Pachyderm Homestead. Dwayne, 20 acres is about $200 a year. Yeah, now imagine if you were not farm assessed, that 20 acres would be $20,000 a year, maybe. I mean, I don't know where you live, but that could be. And Glenn said when he bought his tractor in New York, all he needed to do was sell one vegetable and he qualified for tax-free. Wow, that's interesting. Here, in order to qualify for tax assessment of your land, you have to earn, I think it's $500 a year in agricultural sales, which could be, again, selling hay, vegetables, cattle. I don't know about the horse thing. Again, Laura, you're right about that. That they have different rules for that. I'm reading more comments. Okay. Kent is saying, I'll take that tax rate. Taxes on my house on 7 acres is over 10 grand a year. Farmland, he's almost 80,000 a year. Really? That's a lot. Maybe that's an awful lot of land too, but yeah, taxes are high. They're high here in New Jersey, of course, but I don't know. As they say, it's all relative. Sorry, my phone there is ringing. All right. Again, I don't consider that conversation a diversion because we had no plans here for a conversation, right? But if you do have other questions or other input, Linda had a comment here about, do people see a lot of solar farms? They're coming up. We have, for a while, the one that's about 5 miles away from here was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the largest solar farm in the East Coast. It wasn't even that large, but now they've gotten bigger and bigger. And there are a lot of debates about solar farms. Like, for instance, should they qualify for farmland assessment, which I don't think they do, but there was an argument one time saying that they were harvesting the sun, so they were farms. I don't know about that. They do use up a lot of farm land, but on the other hand, they're not houses. with children going to school and don't require trash pickup. So again, I don't know about the solar farms. They have their benefits as well. And I have to say, I'd rather see a solar farm than a housing development. So I don't know, but they are popping up. I mean, gosh, just on houses alone, it seems like every house has solar panels now. We don't. We've thought about it, haven't done it. Might do it at some point. Don't know. But that was just a little, I wanted to plant that little seed about solar farms. If anybody had any comments on that and what you're seeing, I would imagine, again, out in the Midwest where the plains that are flat, there's a lot of wooded areas around here, but in flat areas, you can put those solar panels, and I imagine there's some really large ones. So, hello, Mark from Sacramento Vacation. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've got people from all the way at the other end of the country, and some people I know watch from outside the country, but the time zone makes that difficult. So thanks for wasting your vacation listening to me, Mark. Appreciate that. I see some comments about septic, because I did make a video about that, our new septic install that we did last summer. That was one of my most recent videos. We talked about that on one of the live streams as well. Oh, I see. Ed won't like to hear it, but our 1,000-gallon septic tank was less than $3,000. That's because our system cost $25,000, and I know people paying more than that for it. But our septic is a pretty big system because we're in a high area of clay where drainage is not the best, for septic systems. So yeah, no pump and one tank. So yeah, we're 2 tanks, pump, giant drain field, but it works and should be it now for the rest of my life. That's for sure. Mark from Manisto K saying that wind farms are becoming popular in Northwest Ontario. Winds from the Big Lake, Lake Superior. That makes sense. I mean, when you have an area with a lot of natural wind, I mean, wind is always natural, but have a lot of it, then that makes sense. There are controversies about that too, as we know. I think one of the biggest controversies I've heard with that is that the amount of material that goes into these things, these giant windmills, you're still creating pollution and generating that. And then when you abandon the technology and replace it, you've got to put all this in the landfill. So I don't know, but I think maybe in the long run, it protects the ozone layer and the air and all that as well. So so I'm looking at some other comments. I shouldn't announce that every time, should I? I mean, if I'm not talking, you'll know what I'm doing. Like if I said, I'm taking a drink of water. Obviously. Yes, not wasting. Thank you, Mark. No, you're not wasting your time. I just meant you're on vacation and you're watching me, and that's really appreciated. How about that? Coming full circle here, talking about dairy farms, and here's Chris talking about solar farms, which are often defunct cattle and dairy farms. So that's they've gone from dairy farms to solar farms. How about that? Right. Okay. Here we go. Yes, I can talk and drink at the same time. So that's a fun conversation. If you have any other questions, post it in there. And again, you continue to talk amongst yourselves. But we're going to do a sticker giveaway here in a minute. Because again, if you're new to the live stream, and I forget to mention this, I only do this live stream for an hour. So by 8 o'clock, we're done. So we don't keep you here for hours. A lot of people do live streams that are 2 hours long. I try not to do that. When I have a guest, it's a little more difficult because you want to keep talking. Speaking of guests, now there is a transition, a lead in, a whatnot. I have what I think is exciting news. Remember our friend John Furness, the blind woodsman who joined the live stream, I don't know, a year ago or so? Remember John and his wife Annie? John is completely blind. He makes most of what he does are wooden bowls that he makes with his lathe, uh, and does fantastic work. I was fortunate to buy some of his work for this past Christmas. Um, and his wife also contributed to the work because she does some clay work and things like that. Just a beautiful couple, beautiful people. I just connected with them immediately, and we've stayed in contact since that time. Since that time, though, John has, he's been discovered by several. I don't want to say organizations. I don't know. Of course, when we met John, he had already had news stories done about him and about his life and what he's doing. But since he joined us, there was a big article in People Magazine. I ran right out to the grocery store and I bought a copy of People Magazine, so I have that copy. Nice write up about John in that People Magazine. And then recently, like last week, if you follow John and Annie on the Blind Woodsman Facebook page, or he's got a really big TikTok following of more than 1 million followers, I believe, at this time. Doing more with YouTube, but TikTok is their main following because it's short videos and that works for them. So anyway, you should follow John Furness, the Blind Woodsman, either on Facebook, TikTok. Look him up on YouTube too, because they're trying to grow that channel as well, and I'm trying to support them in that however I can. But so the People Magazine article, and then just last week or so, he was on. Wait, was it Kelly Clarkson? Is that a show? I mean, she has a show, right? I think it was. I'm gonna type it in. I don't know if I'm saying the right name now. Don't you hate when that happens? But yes. Wait. I'm just gonna start this a second. Okay. I can't show it because the thing will get flagged. Well, if you saw it, let me know in the comments. But that was the show, Kelly Clarkson. So you can do a search on the internet for that too. Google it, as they say. Good idea, Ray. Good idea. Blind Woodsman, the movie. It would be great. John has really an interesting story to tell. So the other part of that, is that I reached out to John and Annie, and again, we've been in touch on and off since they were here, or since he was here, and just congratulated them on their discovery, so to speak. And the main thing for John is to share his message about suicide prevention and about recovery. And what a great avenue for them to get on national television. So anyway, I just reached out to say, hey, congratulations, thinking of you both. And but anyway, Annie wrote back, and they would like to come back to our little live stream, as famous as they are now. But they would like to come back. Now, John was on here by himself. Annie was not. She's more behind the camera kind of person. She does all the TikTok videos and whatnot. But she's a wonderful person too, and she may join us with John. So we're working on. Thank you for that link, Chris. We're working on scheduling John and hopefully Annie too to come back and do another live stream, and that just warms my heart because again, they're special people. And if you missed the first live stream, of course you can find it and you can watch the replay. But you can also watch the next one if we get them back. So it's, again, different content than what we normally do. I thought John's story was fascinating enough to share with you. Plus, he's a hands-on guy, woodworker. So I thought that kind of fit with the content that we do here with tractors and outdoors and DIY and whatnot. So I thought the content would fit, but also his powerful message is also important to share. So again, if you hadn't heard of that, look him up. Look at the video that Chris shared, but also you can search on YouTube. John tells his entire story at a it's not a TED Talk, but it's something like that. I forget what it's called, but check it out because it's a good story. I mean, it's kind of a tragic story, but he's here with us, and he's educating people, and he's living the life that he believes he was led to live. What more can you ask for than that, right? Not much. So yeah, Ray follows him on Facebook. There you go. Yeah, they will be great guests for sure, Ray. And we're going to make it happen. We just haven't come up with a date yet. Might be soon, though. Might be soon. And Kendall, yeah, all you have to do, if you go to my YouTube page, you can click on videos, and I don't know if it gives you the option of looking at live videos, but you can find it on there, or you can probably just search MCG Blind Woodsman. I try to tag things so that you can find them that way. Keywords in the descriptions so that they're maybe easier to find. Just yeah, I just searched YouTube MCG Blind Woodsman and found the video there. So you can do that, and I will share it with you in the comments now. You can click on that, save it for future viewing, or maybe you can watch it in 15 minutes when we're done here. So, all right, so let's do a sticker giveaway. And I see Gary is drinking from his MCG mug. I don't have it here. What am I thinking, drinking out of a clear cup? Why don't I have my own mug here? I use it every morning for my tea. Fun fact, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. I drink tea. Some would call it boring, but, Lipton type tea, just English breakfast tea, sugar, and half and half. Cup in the morning, cup at night. In the wintertime, maybe a few cups during the day, but not big on coffee. Not big on coffee, really. So there you go. There's your fun fact. Let's do a sticker giveaway. What are we doing here? Going to give away all 3 of these stickers. These are running low. I better order some more, come up with some new designs. Have a lot of these because that was the most recent celebration of 25,000 subscribers. So not as many of these, but plenty of these. Going to give away all 3 of these because we're going to get through this and maybe come up with another design. Maybe these are limited edition too. I don't know. We'll see. But enter to win that. I don't care who enters. If you won before, you can make the decision if you want to enter again. I'm not going to be the sticker police on this one. So we'll just have a drawing now and see who wins the stickers. Right. There's the music for it. So, if you're new to the live stream, I'm going to share a word or a phrase on the screen, and then you'll type it in the live chat exactly the way you see it, uppercase or lowercase, no spaces, please, or it won't work. So, in the live chat, type this word, #farm, just like that. It can be all uppercase, can be lowercase. Doesn't matter. Did somebody guess hashtag farm before I even shared that? Because there were already 2 entries on there. I almost did hashtag cow. Jeff wrote that. Almost did that, but instead we're doing hashtag farm like that. And you may have guessed it earlier, and that's okay. That's fun. So you can do lowercase like Jeffrey did, or you can do all uppercase like when work is play did. Doesn't matter, but we'll get these entries and we'll draw it. Just checking my audio there. Might be a little high. Or maybe not. All right. You guys are funny. David White, Cow Patty. He's, I guess, choosing not to enter the drawing, but doing a hashtag anyway. All right. Well, maybe the algorithm will pick up this live stream for people who like farming videos, and they'll see hashtag farm in there and pick them up. Thank you for telling me that the audio is fine. Look at this, 40 entries. It's a lot. All right. We're going to wrap it up here in just a moment. As soon as I find the right buttons to click on. So keep in mind, when I hit this draw button, it's going to randomly select one of you. Because of the timing, you may see who the winner is before it actually reveals it, because something timing, but all entries are counted. Believe me. Let's do it. 43 entries. Draw button right now. Right now. Drum roll. The only way I know how to do a drum roll. Winner is... Oh my gosh, it's Tractor Talk with Gary. Congratulations, Gary. Gary won the mugs, and what a lucky guy Gary is, because he won the mug giveaway, which, what was that, my birthday? I forget when we did that. So I ordered him the mug from Teespring, and he received 2 of them from Teespring. Did you receive 3? They messed up with shipping or something, but anyway, he hit the jackpot of mugs there. There was no point in sending them back. So Gary has a collection of MCG mugs, and now a collection of more stickers, because I think he also has some stickers, but probably not this one, the special edition 25,000 subscriber limited edition sticker with a metallic finish. I got to give a lot of those away because I want to get to the next level of subscribers. So, for now, we can celebrate 25,000 for the next however long it takes, right? Congratulations, Gary, on that. Oh, yeah. See that? 3 mugs. Crazy. And meanwhile, I've had emails from people saying they ordered one of the special edition shirts. Took a super long time to get there. I think you said you finally got it. Crazy. I just ordered another one of those special edition shirts because I ordered one and never got it. But I think what happened was I made the design and I ordered the shirt. And then I realized, because a friend told me, that I put the logo on the wrong side, that I had put it on the right side, and generally the logos are on the left side. So I changed the design and I canceled the order, and then I ordered the new one, but I think they thought I was ordering the same one. So that was what I think that's what happened. So I ordered another one, and their customer service is kind of a pain to get through to, but we'll see. I'll get that one. So hopefully they'll get better with fulfilling their orders. Not a fan. I know some of you have said, Teespring's not the best with fulfillment, but they integrate with YouTube. I think maybe it's too big for them or something. But yet they still have sales and whatnot, like they're trying to drum up business. So I don't get it. But yes, congratulations on that, Gary, and go buy a lottery ticket. Jeff, are you asking to show your picture? I apologize. I didn't upload it. Jeff sent me a picture of his mug on a cat dozer that he was working on. I shared it on the Facebook page. I didn't upload it to this to share tonight, so I apologize for that. But thank you for sharing that picture, Jeff. What was the cat? What was it? A D. You'll tell me. You'll tell me. But it's on the Facebook page for sure. So thank you for that. Yeah, and Mark had T-shirts made locally, $36 for a long sleeve. That's a lot. I mean, but long sleeve shirts can cost that much. But the problem is, now you have to ship them out. What I like about Teespring is that people can order directly through the store. I've got the website that links to the store, shopmcg.com, and they take care of all the fulfillment. I don't have to order. If I ordered T-shirts, I'd have to order 20 small, 20 medium, 20 large, 20 extra large, 20 XXL. You have to keep the inventory, then you have to ship it. I just don't really have time for that. So this is a way that if you want merchandise, you can order it. I don't really mark it up. They set the price on what it costs to make, and then some people sell them for a lot higher than that. But I just mark them up enough to cover a little bit of hassle on my end. Not hassle, but time, whatnot. So that's why I use them, and the quality I've been happy with that as well. So pirate ship, I don't know what that is, Linda. You'll have to tell me. So yeah, all right. So that was a shameless plug for shopmcg.com. There's the website right there, shopmcg. You can check it out. You can see what's available on there. That's where you can buy mugs and shirts and whatnot. And again, I've been happy with the shirts. One thing that bothers me, they stopped carrying the orange shirts, and orange is my color. I think you can get the orange hoodie, but the orange T-shirts, I don't know whether it's like the national brand stopped carrying them, but they were out of stock, and I'm going to see if they still have them in there. But they stopped having them for a while, and I couldn't get my orange shirts, and that's my favorite. Orange is within my color palette. Apparently, I look good in orange, I've been told. I just always I liked orange before I even had a Kubota tractor. So it's not because of the Kubota. It's just I like orange. Although my neighbor saw me in my orange shirt the other day, and he thought I was serving time. He thought I was in the orange jumpsuit for prison. I would look good as an inmate, right? Because I look good in orange. Sorry for your luck, Ed, but you look good in that orange jumpsuit. Chris, did you get a shirt? Is that what you're saying? You got one, by the way? Maybe. Yep. Orange jackets. Yeah. I don't know why orange is not as popular. I keep hearing this dinging sound. This happened to me before. I think my phone's going off. You know what it is? It's that bird. When he dips down for a drink of water, his glass neck is hitting the mug, and it's dinging. It sounds like a text going off. Let me see if you won't hear it from this microphone, but watch where he goes. Get ready. He's getting ready. There. Oh, it's his belly hit it when he swung back. His glass belly hit the mug and caused a ding, which makes me look at my phone because I'm like Pavlov's dog, right? Ding. What? Ding. Who's that? I've been trained well. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's that. So anyway, stay tuned for hopefully for John Furness and hopefully his wife. We are going to put it together and do it. And we really want her to join too, because she is a great person and so supportive of John. When you watch their TikTok videos, they're also on Facebook, TikTok. They're just so darn nice to each other, and it's not even an act. They're just really. I love it when a couple genuinely likes one another. It just shows. We make dumb jokes about marriage and, the old lady and all this and whatnot. And that can be funny. Um, we don't really do that because Anne doesn't like it. But it is true when you see people who genuinely enjoy being around each other, it's nice. It's just really nice. And you see that with John and Annie. They genuinely love one another, and it just shows. So uh, be nice to one another. How about that? If you're a married couple or dating or anything, just be nice to one another. Try being nice to each other. Don't stoop to like jokes about the old ball and chain. Be supportive and watch what happens when people see that around you. They don't expect that. They don't expect couples to be nice to each other. And watch and see what happens. Try it. Be nice to each other, and it can make a difference in your life. That just came out of nowhere too. That reminds me, before we sign off here, about being nice to one another. I try to be nice. I think I'm generally pretty nice. I think back at times when I wasn't nice. There are always times I look back and think, I could have said that better, could have handled that better, could have been a better father, could have been a better husband, could have been a better neighbor, brother, sister. I couldn't be a better sister, but anyway, I could be a better brother. I, we just grow and learn. But anyway, I try to be pretty nice. And I think back to my relationship with my mother, who again died when I was 24 years old, I think it was. I was 24 years old when she died. But when I was about 12 years old, maybe 11 years old or so, I saw a teenager interacting with his mother, and they were laughing and getting along. Now that sounds weird, but like, why wouldn't they? But they were genuinely enjoying each other's company. And as a young kid, 10, 11, 12 years old, I saw that and I said, I want that. I want to do that. And from that moment, I sort of formed a joking relationship with my mom. And it was a great relationship. It sort of raised me up to her level because I was no longer the little kid. I was kind of on her level as an adult because we could actually joke around together. And that was neat for me to see. And I was glad I got to experience that with her, because one thing I love to do was to make my mom laugh. And real quick now, and this is not a downer story because she's been gone a long time, but she had cancer and she suffered and she became a different person. And you're not happy when you don't feel well. I was changing a light bulb. This was probably in her last year of her life. I was changing a light bulb. I leaned onto like an end table or something to change the light bulb, and my knee went through the end table, crashing to the floor. And man, she laughed. She laughed so hard at that, and that's such a memory for me that as sick as she was, she could not stop laughing at my misfortune of crashing through the table to the floor. So anyway, it's important to laugh more than anything else. I think it's great to have a sense of humor. But I don't want to get off on a tangent of kind of preaching to you. I'm not going to do that. But I do like talking about philosophy and life and all those good things. Anyway, it's Monday night. It's 8:00. We made it through a night, and you all are amazing for being here. I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting one another. So continue having a great night. It's only Monday night, so you got the whole week ahead of you. Enjoy it. Be kind to one another, and come back in next week and tell us how great your week was. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.